Are toys gonna be gone someday? Let's talk about this. This is a subject that I just recently, me and my dad fought about. We have a toy here, Simon. This is a popular 80s toy. We're just using 80s for reference because a lot of good toys from then. This is a new edition of Simon. And we're gonna talk about today, this is gonna be a more serious video. I mean, none of my videos are incredibly hilarious or incredibly serious. This is gonna be a more serious video talking about changing psychology, changing minds, changing attitudes, changing tastes in general. We're just going to talk about everything. So, toys have been around for a very long time. You look back at ancient civilizations, they had forms of toys. Marbles have been around forever. Dozens of games have been around forever. And children, absolutely, have always played with toys. But recently you see a slow dying death, especially when Toys R Us closed, of toys. So, this is a random subject. And the thing is, this is the point here. My age, we don't play with toys a lot. I don't usually touch any of mine that much. I do sometimes here and there, stuff a lot like this. It makes me sad though. I still like to look at my stuff. I still collect certain stuff like Funkos and all that. But, that's typical for a person my age, a teenager. So, but what we're talking about today is children who love toys, children who buy toys, that doesn't exist anymore. I'm talking about like 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds, that age group. I mean, you don't expect my age, like I said, to be in love with toys like you were, but nobody seems to be really in love with toys. And one of the things that you can blame this on is something I enjoy immensely and many people enjoy immensely is the video games. So I have 2 video games here. Overwatch, I play this game a lot with my friends in Fallout New Vegas, which is one of my favorite games. I love Fallout in general. And you look back, video games, one of the first video games, not exactly the first video game, I can't go into the whole history. Pong was invented, I believe, 1978-ish. And video games, the year of the video games were the 80s. And everybody thought this was a fad. And it looked like a fad because there was a time, especially I'm just going full video game nerd on you guys. But there was a time when video games weren't doing so well. This was the later 80s. This had stuff to do with the Atari stuff, like E.T. failing. And I'm thinking there's a bunch of people who are like, video games are gonna fail, video games are a fad. Video games, they're nothing, a fad. There's people back there who probably thought video games were something like fidget spinners are now today. Fidget spinners, they were popular, last year, around that time. They are gone now. I mean, you can still see people with them sometimes, but they're not the thing they were. But video games have not died. Video games just increased in the 90s, okay? You have SNES, you have all these consoles, you have Sega, you have N64, you have GameCube. It just keeps on increasing. You had PlayStation, powerful. You had Xbox, which was a big deal. And you just keep on going forward and forward. You have Game Boy, you have Pokemon, you have all this crap. And it's just it's crazy. But like I was saying, and you look, in video games, I don't really think they had too big, I don't know because I wasn't there obviously. I can ask my parents and they would agree with me, that they did not have too big of a impact on toys when they first came out. In the 80s, they didn't have too big of a impact. In the 90s, I guess they kind of did. But more and more people were asking for these video games, but people still wanted toys. But now we are in an age, and it's not even necessarily the video games, it's forms of video games. The tablet, the iPad, that is the big killer of toys. That is the true killer of toys, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. Video games did have a part in the slow death of toys, because video games basically, they create a situation for you. You can live out a situation in video games, especially a role-playing game. Anyway, you live out a situation in any game. But people, what I would do, what children still do, children still make believe, but they would have toys, like, let's play cowboy a lot. I have a fake revolver. I'd like to do that. I had a little, cowboy, it was a sheriff's office, I like to do that. Up until, maybe age 10, I still like to make believe and all that kind of stuff. And, that was a fun thing to do, you know what I mean? It was fun. It's fun to have your Nerf guns. Let's be honest here. A lot of people still buy Nerf guns a lot, you know, this age, for some, they just like Nerf guns, okay? A lot of people, so I have friends who still play with Nerf guns, and that's the thing, you know, we like to pretend to shoot, but a video game is a thing where you are using the Nerf gun. You are playing in a simulated playground. You are playing in a simulated playground, and you are being someone, especially with games like Fallout New Vegas, which, you know, role-playing games, they take you anywhere. And I was thinking the other day, Fortnite, everybody knows Fortnite, let's be honest, okay? Everybody knows Fortnite, okay? I'm not a huge fan of Fortnite, but I have to play that game every day because of my friends. It gets annoying, but I like Fortnite to an extent. It's not one of my favorite games. And I was thinking to myself, you know, criticizing Fortnite in my mind, and I realized, you know what? Fortnite is a virtual playground. I'm on the microphone with my friends. We are going around and we are shooting people. We are picking up weapons. We are doing, you know, I don't buy anything for Fortnite. My friends, they buy emotes and skins and all that stuff. I don't buy anything. You know, they have those toys recently, and that made me think about it. I'm in a virtual playground playing make-believe in a way, not really a way, with my friends, without me even thinking about it, with my friends thinking about it, in that the game has sort of become the toy, because this is a toy. This is not the kind of toy like an action figure which you do situations. This is an interactive toy, and this is a game. And games started with toys, obviously. Board games are the most relatable toy to a video game. RPG games like Dungeons and Dragons, that kind of stuff, that is the most similar kind of non-digital thing to a video game. That's obviously what role-playing games are based on, and you can see the systems there. But you can see just like when Toys R Us went away, think about that, Toys R Us went away. Toys are, it's sad, but they are actually dying right now. And that is in part of games, especially games like Fortnite, I will say, a free game, Minecraft, and tablets in particular. And these children who are like 5 years old are given tablets either because they really want them. I'm not going to say everything. It's either because they really want them, and then there's some parents there who just don't want to hear their kids talking, and a tablet is a very, very good attention distractor. And sometimes it just happens. They'll grab their parents' tablet, their phone, they'll just start playing some games on there. That keeps the child's attention. That's everything there. Apps are a lot cheaper than toys. You can buy a 99-cent. When you go on the App Store or whatever, you see all these educational games, you know. They are cheap. They're like 99 cents, $1.99. And instead of buying your child a $9.99 action figure, whatever, you're buying them an app, which is only $1.99. Like, it's cheap, okay? It's cheap for the experience. You have an hour that your child can stay, have attention, not be loud, not be entertained, and they can have fun, you know? There's good motives for this, and that was the place that toys had around, like, I'd say, toys really, I guess, you know, 2010s is when this started. The current generation we are living in, and when this death started. Toys, they were doing fine, really. You know, nobody really gave their kid back in, like, you know, the 2000s a video game console at, like, 3 years old, you know. A tablet's not really a video game console, obviously, but it's the most similar thing I can say. And when tablets didn't exist, you know, the most similar thing to a tablet was a video game console. And children at the age of 3, they weren't really getting video game consoles. I got one, I was able to play at like 4 or 5. And children, 3 years old, 2-year-old, they weren't being allowed to play video games, you know what I mean? But now children, they're just getting all this stuff at like these young ages, and they're just like, there's no more toys. And just dwindling interest in toys. There's some toys out there, and one of the things that kept toys a lot is stuff like Skylanders, Disney Infinity, Lego Dimensions, you know, that stuff. That was the last big thing. I remember, and obviously, you know, nobody really plays that anymore. The generation grew up like I did. We all grew up. I remember back in the like 2nd grade, just like everybody, all my friends, we were all into Skylanders. That was the big deal. We would have those cards, you know, bring them to school, look at them. We would trade. I traded characters with this one guy, and then we went back. We like basically rented each other's characters, and that was exciting. That was fun, you know, because it was a game. It was a toy. That was one of the last things. But Skylanders, that's even died out. Like, you know, like, it's died out. The generation basically, they just grew up. You know, they're playing games now. Like, I'm playing games like Fallout New Vegas now. Okay, when did I get this game? Like 2 years ago, maybe. People playing games like Overwatch. Everybody's playing Fortnite. Everybody and their mother is playing Fortnite. Okay, millions of people are playing that game. People are playing stuff like Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, which is a good game. They are playing all this different stuff. Skylanders is going. You know, this is not about Skylanders. I'm just saying that's the one thing. And now I look and you can see all these kids, like all these little kids. They're not excited about like Skylanders anymore. They're excited about Fortnite, and that's the thing. They're not excited about any sort of just like physical. So I go to Target. I will walk in there. Toy aisles. There's no little children in those toy aisles. There's just none. Nowhere. There'll be sometimes, but it's not packed. Toys R Us. We went to the closing. It's just like that was the last time. Before that, when we go to Toys R Us, it's like there's like hardly anybody in here, you know? Go to get some Funko Pops, whatever we want to get, just look in general. There's nobody in this place. There's no kids. You know, there are other places. They're in other stores. They're on the App Store. They are getting stuff from Amazon. And, you know, you can see just where we have progressed as like when it comes to technology, and that's something that's been around for like a million years. Think about that. Toys have been around for a very, very long time. I'm not sure if it's exactly a million years, but I remember reading about toys found in Mesopotamia, all that stuff. Toys have been around for a very long time. And when you look at it, they are dying. And it's crazy to think something that's been around for so long, a part of so many generations of history, you know, dolls and toy soldiers, you know, like, think about how many little girls, like, so long ago had these little dolls, you know. Dolls have seen Revolutionary War. They have seen all these wars. All these toys have gone past these wars. And they are dying. It's crazy. But they are actually slowly dying. And it started with video games. It started with these puppies right here. You have I guess you can blame the computer kind of, but I mean, I'm not going to go in and completely blame the computer. You can blame, the main person here to blame is not video games. The real person here to blame is tablet video games and tablets and parents who are giving their children tablets because they want them, you know. There's nothing wrong. Really, if your kid wants a tablet, there's nothing wrong with giving it to them. But the growing interest in tablets have killed toys in a way, you know. Stocks are plummeting for people. People are doing this stuff. The last big hit, last thing I heard about, I'm not sure if it was on everybody's news, but here in Florida, all these news stories about Hatchimals running out, okay? Hatchimals running out. That was the last big thing that I can remember. The one thing, I still see a lot of kids buy Legos. That's the one thing I can say. But yeah, guys, where are we going to be 20 years from now? Where are toys going to be 20 years from now? You know, where are they going to be? Toys are a big part of marketing in companies. When you market a movie, you market a multimedia franchise, you are marketing toys too. Take for Star Wars, okay? Star Wars. Huge franchise, okay? Star Wars is movies originally. They have books. They have television shows, cartoons. They have soundtracks, you know. All movies have soundtracks. So, like I said, books, toys. They have toys, okay? Toys help sell this movie, and toys help generate. It's like what do you call that? A symbiotic relationship. The movie, in turn, supports these toys and supports companies like, who the heck makes the Star Wars toys? Is it Hasbro? It's Hasbro, okay? The movie, in turn, supports Hasbro in them making these toys, and the toys promote the movie, okay? So toys are still a big part of promotion, and so are books and all this stuff. But now you have apps, you have video games that are part of the promotion. Video game tie-in, movie tie-in video games have been going on just for years, you know what I mean? Like E.T., take it for example. E.T., the video game for Atari. That was a tie-in promotion. and years and years and years. And toys were, like I said, a big part of the promotion for these things. So, and you can just look at it that way. But now we're experiencing apps. So I'm gonna end this because this has gone on for a long time. And I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys actually watch this because this is long. But you know, I'm gonna talk about this a lot more. And hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope 30 years from now that, you know, people still, there's still toys around, because, you know, I don't know, I love video games. I spend a lot more time on video games than I do. I mean, I read a lot, I play video games a lot. It's one of the things I do a lot when I have free time. And I love video games too. But I hope, you know, all the kids out there, all the little children, you know, I'm a child still legally, but like all the little children, I hope that we can all, you know, they can all enjoy toys, you know. I just don't want them to go away. It's a very sad thing if they do go away. This is an interesting video. This was an experimental video, part of a series. And guys, I think we are closing up now, and this video is going to be done. I'm not sure how exactly this has been over, but guys, that is a wrap for this new series. More serious series, a more long series. I'm going to advertise this a lot, so to get a general understanding of this. My friends should enjoy this. I'm not sure how the general audience that doesn't know me, the other viewers, will enjoy this. But hopefully this is a good series for us guys. And once again, thank you, and have a nice night, have a nice day, and that's a wrap.